And we'd like to welcome into Cobra Corner the head volleyball coach here at Parkland College, Mr. Cliff Hastings. Coach, year 11, how did that happen already?
I don't know. I planned on being here for a year or two, see how it went, and then somehow I found that I really loved it here. I loved being a Cobra, and I loved coaching volleyball here, and 11 feels like 1 or 2 still, so it's a good thing.
Nationals every year, 6 consecutive 50-win seasons. How do you keep putting together such successful teams and really making a deep run in the postseason every year?
Yeah, I think probably 3 main things. We have a great coaching staff who works hard in recruiting and getting talented kids. We have fantastic young women who want to work hard and have a goal in being a Parkland athlete and being successful on the court and in the classroom. And then 3, I think just always starting the season with the mindset that we are working toward a national championship, and there's no second place. That's the goal, and so I think that always helps us achieve those great goals as we move forward.
And I've been fortunate enough to spend a decent amount of time around a lot of your teams, and one thing I've always noticed is you really promote that family atmosphere, and it really seems to spill over to the court. So how do you think that helps the on-court chemistry and really helps them compile a lot of wins throughout the season as well?
Yeah, I mean, we talk a lot about in the recruiting process, what are you looking for in a college, what's important to you, and they always say they want teammates that they enjoy, they want to experience that's non-drama or drama-free, what do they say? But yeah, I think that's important, and I think it's important as part-time coaches. We want to enjoy ourselves as well, so we look for talent, but we look for good kids and like I said, good work ethic, and they just really come together to make those things happen.
And one thing we always talk about as well is just the amount of talent top to bottom in the roster and just how competitive the Parkland practices are. Yeah. So if the girls can survive that, how does that get them prepared to come out here on match day?
Yeah, and I think that's over the 11 years. I think when we have won nationals, we had a roster of 1 through 18 or 1 through 20, who any of them could be starters at any point for any other team in the country. And that's what made us successful, and this year is that same sort of feel.
So an unblemished weekend to start the season here, 8-0 in your tournament. You've always been known to play a lot of matches and a difficult schedule. What's kind of your philosophy behind that, and do you feel like it really helps your team prepare once we do get to nationals?
Yeah, the difficult schedule obviously is important. We want to play everybody that will play at nationals, and last year all 4 matches we played, we'd already played before. So that gave us a good, I think, leg up on the competition or other teams who had not seen a lot of teams at nationals. The quantity of matches, we have 20 young women on the roster this year, and again, all 20 of them could be starting anywhere else. So if they're going to come to Parkland, be a part of our program, I want them to be able to play. So we played 8 matches. Nobody played less than 4 matches this past weekend, and I have confidence that I can put any of them in any time to go be successful and win.
And Region 24 just in general has always been a tough volleyball conference. So if anybody who gets out of Region 24 is usually going to do some damage once they get to nationals. So what can we expect out of the region this year, and what are you looking forward to throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, it's another good Lincoln Land and ICC teams this year. And then looking forward to next year, Heartland starts a program, which they have a great coach already hired. And so it's another team that's going to be very successful in the region also. So that prepares us well. I mean, I think if we constantly are playing top-level competition through the year, then we don't see anything at nationals that we don't expect.
And 12 sophomores on the team this year. Who are some of the players you're looking to really lean on and kind of lead this team and kind of get the freshmen ready to go for once we do get out to West Virginia for the Nationals, hopefully?
Yeah, I mean, that's an easy answer, and it's all 12 of them because they all have different experiences and things they bring to the table to help us be successful. You've got, obviously, Riley and Rachel and Brooke, who were All-Americans last year, and on the court, they are leading us in their success. And then we have 9 other young women who are very, very, not just good players, but good leaders, and they bring different things to our team. So we look at all of them to lead in different ways to make our freshmen ready and to be successful.
So stylistically this year, you know, there's been some years where we rely heavily on a couple of big hitters there at the top. What do you see for this year's team? Are we going to spread the ball around a little bit more? Or, what is your philosophy as a coach for the 2019 Cobras?
Yeah, we are more diverse this year. I think the years that we had the national champions with Laura and Fia and Taylor and those young women, we were very diverse as well. We go anywhere, anytime, and that's what made other teams really trip up against us. The years where we had only 1 or 2 primary hitters, it was easy to beat us because you knew where it was going to go. You just had to shut that down. So I don't love that. I like this year's team. I like how we are very diverse again. We can go lots of different places to score, and if somebody's struggling, somebody on the bench is going to come in and score right away as well.
Well, Coach, congratulations on a great start to the season. Thanks for taking a few minutes with us, and we look forward to catching up with you down the line.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And hello there. We'd like to welcome in sophomore outside hitter Amanda Greening. Amanda, thank you so much for taking some time with us today.
No problem.
So could you talk a little bit about the Parkland volleyball tradition and kind of what made you originally want to play volleyball here for the Cobras?
Like the biggest thing for me was just seeing how successful Parkland had been in the past, and like after meeting the girls and meeting with the coaches, it was clear that everyone had like the same goal in mind, like to be successful, and that was really attractive looking at Parkland.
And as you guys talk as a team, do you guys feel any added sense of pressure to kind of keep up with those winning ways and kind of keep the train rolling here for the Cobra volleyball program?
Absolutely. I wouldn't necessarily say pressure because we work really hard in practice and games, but we're excited to keep everything rolling.
Awesome. Can you pinpoint maybe one thing that you think may be a strength of the 2019 Cobras?
I think one of our biggest strengths is having so many returning players. We have 12 sophomores, 11 of which are returning, and everyone that was able to make a big impact last year. So I think that's going to be great. And then we have a bunch of new incomers that are great also. So like the combination of the two will be good.
And speaking of the 12 sophomores, as you mentioned, bringing in some new girls into the program, what are some things, or what have you kind of tried to pass along to them, or what are some of the big differences between high school volleyball and competing here at the college level?
I'd say the speed of the game is faster. Our freshmen are doing a really good job keeping up and playing well.
Do you guys have any specific team goals that you've set forth for the season?
I think the biggest thing is just to like play as a team and take it game by game, because we do play 60 matches, so try not to get ahead of ourselves and just take it day by day.
So I've seen a Coach Hastings schedule. We always play a difficult schedule and usually up there in the number of matches played every year. So now that you've gone through it once, did you feel like you guys were really prepared once you got to the national tournament based on the tough schedule that you played?
Absolutely. I think the 60 games, it looks like a lot, but honestly when it came down to it, it was great because we had seen every team that we were going to play at nationals previously, which was really helpful when we got there.
Well, Amanda, thank you so much for the time and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
And now we'd like to welcome in right side hitter Abby Burnett. As Abby, good start to the season here. Cobras went 8-0 on the first weekend. What do you think the team did really well here in their first opportunity out there on the court?
I think as a team, everyone worked together, we communicated well, and even though our competition wasn't the best this weekend, we still got opportunities for everyone to get on the court and play and show each person's talents, so it's good.
And when you were making your decision of where you're going to play college volleyball, what were some of the things that attracted you to Parkland?
I liked Parkland because it worked with my major really well, and then also I just loved Cliff and the family and all the coaches, and I knew the program and it was really good here, so I was excited to be a part of that.
That's a great point you make there. One thing I've really noticed about Cliff's team, he always promotes that family atmosphere. So do you think that closeness helps you guys perform on the court as well?
Yeah, we spend a lot of time together, whether it's in study tables, working out, even on off time, like during preseason we always had like team activities. It was a lot of fun. We all get really close.
And are you guys setting any specific team goals for the team this year?
I think just always improving as a team. We have a lot of matches, so we have a lot of opportunities to see a lot of different types of teams and just work with that. And then, of course, we always want to go to nationals and do well there. So
one thing I've always heard about as well is just the competitiveness of the practices. Yeah. A lot of talent up and down that roster. So how difficult are those practices? And then how much more prepared do you feel like you are when you actually get to the match day?
Yeah, we have a lot of people in. It's very competitive on both sides. We always tell each other that we're the best competition that we're going to see during some of our seasons. So I think that helps us a lot in practice.
Well, Abby, thank you so much for the time and best of luck this season.
Thank you.
And we'd like to welcome you back to Cobra Corner, as now we'll be joined by the head soccer coach here for the women's program at Parkland College, Mr. Tim Knotts. So, Tim, thank you for taking a few minutes to join us here today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So can you walk us through just a little bit what the team has been doing to prepare for this 2019 season?
Sure. So we started out on August 1st, and we have 2-a-days for our preseason. And we're not just at the soccer fields training. We also go out and get some work on the tennis courts and volleyball courts around town, so we can get some different experiences for the girls and train in a different way, just to kind of help prepare us as we start the season. And then also we've had several preseason scrimmages, and we already feel like from those games we've had a lot to take away and learn from, so we feel good going into the season, just being on the right foot.
And is there anything you could pinpoint as what you think may be one of the strengths of this year's team?
We did add in several good attacking players this year. We're excited to see how they fit in when we get going this weekend, and we think that by adding them, they're also going to help free up some of our other players that want to get involved in the attack, and I think that just strengthening our forward line is really going to help us score more goals this year.
And looking up and down the schedule, definitely playing a difficult schedule, have some good programs on there. Region 24 has always been a pretty good soccer conference and region there. So who are some of the teams that we need to look at to ultimately get to our goal, which is possibly winning another Region 24 title?
For sure, we're always in the hunt. We're trying to be at the top at the end of the year, and we are excited this year because Lewis and Clark's always been one of the good teams, but they're losing most of their starters for this coming year. So we really feel like we've got to be hungry this year to be ready to take it and compete with them. So Lewis and Clark's won, and Swick's always had a good program. Their coaches have all returned, so we can expect that they're going to be good teams. And then just with the turnover you get at the junior college level, you never know who may surprise us this year and bring in a good freshman class.
And kind of going forward, what are some things that you're looking for the team to maybe improve on as the season goes, so that way they're ready to compete once the postseason comes along?
One of the big things is just scoring more goals. We had some good attacking players last year, but I think that one of our emphasis this season is to really be a little more offensive minded, and adding the players that we've had this season, we feel like we can score from right down the middle of the field, and also be a threat out in the wing areas of the field from right wing and left wing. So we really feel like with the players we got on board, we can be effective, putting the ball in the back of the net this year.
And is there any couple of players you could pinpoint that you're really looking to lean on this year to lead the team, both offensively as well as on the defensive backfield there?
We did bring in a couple forwards, Maria Jorquera and Mary Woods, and they've been having a very positive impact for us to start the year so far. Like I said, I think they're really going to help free up a lot of pressure for some other areas of the field, for our returning players out on the wings like Georgie and Kaylee. And then one of our captains, Lexi, she's going to be our returning center back. So I know that she's going to be helping lead us back there, as well as Sarah Howenstein. They're our returning defenders on our back line. And we've really added players across the board this year that I think are going to be contributors. So, yeah, we're excited to see what's going to happen.
And as a coach, how much more comfortable do you feel now coming into this year, having been through some of these battles and kind of dealing with the grind of a season here at Parkland?
Yeah, it's always nice having another season under your belt. I feel like there's always something to learn every year, and excited to really get our season underway. Sometimes it feels like it's been a long time because it's already been four weeks and we haven't had our first official game yet. So, yeah, just looking forward to starting up.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for the time. We look forward to seeing you at the field this year, and best of luck as you move forward through the schedule.
Thank you, Brian.
And now we're going to be joined by sophomore striker Mary Woods. So thank you so much for taking some time with us. Could you talk just a little bit about some of the goals that the 2019 Cobras are setting forth for the team this year?
Yeah, so our goals every day obviously are just to get better in practice, but I would say that the broad goal as a team is to make it to the national tournament.
And what kind of things do you feel like this team may be able to do really well as you continue on through the preseason here? Coach Knotts kind of mentioned you guys are getting kind of anxious to get to that first game there. So how are things coming together, and what are some things you think this team might do really well this year?
I think as a team we're starting to come together. It's early in the season, but I think really just working hard and coming together, it's picking up for sure.
And for yourself personally, what are some goals you're setting for yourself, or how do you think you could be a big factor in the success of the Cobras this season?
Probably being a leader and talking a lot on the field would be my number one aspect. So.
And what do you think the Cobras are going to have to do really well this year to possibly win that Region 24 title and earn a trip to nationals?
I think just getting better every day, bringing the competition to every practice will definitely help us in the long run.
And as a sophomore, how do you feel like some of the freshmen are coming along? And as a sophomore, as you mentioned, being a leader, how do you feel like that helps them just kind of getting adjusted to the college game with classes, with soccer, and everything involved?
Right. So classes just started, so I know it's like a weird time for freshmen getting adjusted and stuff. And we have a lot of freshmen, so I think as sophomores, we're just kind of looking out for them, trying to help with time management and getting stuff done before and after practice. So. yeah, just looking out for them as much as we can.
All right, Mary, thank you so much for joining us, and we look forward to seeing you out on the field this year.
Thank you.
And welcome back. Now we're going to be joined by head men's soccer coach here at Parkland College, Mr. Mark Sikora, heading into year number 14 now with the Cobras. So, Coach, how has your coaching style kind of changed over the years? Won a lot of soccer matches here at Parkland. So, what keeps bringing you back and put a good program together here?
Well, I'm competitive. I think I'll start there. And there were a lot of years where we weren't doing very well, so kind of had crossroads. But I mean, the biggest baseline is how do we field a team that can be competitive every year? And it took a while to figure out what that right combination is. So I really start with trying to find the best guys that I can to fill the roles that we need. And then, as I've gotten older and done it more, I try to trim down my goals because just make it too difficult. Mm-hmm. Simplify it, and I kind of tell the guys the same thing. We'll try to do the right thing every time, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, okay, we'll keep going back to the drawing board and kind of take it game by game. So if I can lessen the amount of things they got to think about, I think the better off we're doing. And it's been working out pretty well for the last couple of years.
And a couple of guys have mentioned that we may not be the biggest team out there on the field, but we're quick, we're skilled. So how do you think that's going to translate over to the field, and what do you think this team has the chance of doing really well this season?
Yeah, I think that exactly right. They recognize that we're trying to build with quality and technical ability and speed, and more often than not to play the way I think they want to play as individual players. And then it's just about putting them in the right position to do it. We're going to struggle in some areas, but the other thing is, we'll just have to deal with those things. Other than that, just kind of let them, obviously get them into a system, but also let them play and let them do what they're good at. And then they're going to have to solve some of the things where we're not good. But other than that, I've always said as a coach, I want to coach a team that will entertain me as well. So I suppose in the back of my mind, I'm just trying to build a team that can do that. It's about passing. It's about attacking and trying to score goals. It's about speed, and it looks good. So if we can do that more often, I'll be happy.
And another thing that we've heard kind of talked about a little bit, a lot of international flair as well. So as a coach, how exciting is that to bring together different backgrounds, different cultures, and kind of molding them into one to have a really successful team on the field?
Yeah, you asked, how do you do this so long? But every fall is new. Not only most of us, we lose half our team every year, sure. But when you've got new guys, new cultures, it's always a new learning experience. Nothing is ever dull with these guys. So that keeps us fresh, but we really have to focus in the first month or so of language. They might all play the game, but they play it differently. So we have to get on the same page without really, killing what they brought with them. And all of a sudden it goes and it's over before you know it. And then we redo it again in the fall. But it's fun. I mean, it's never boring with these guys because they're learning along with myself, and the new players are learning just about American culture and Parkland and the school. So everybody's doing something new, so it never really gets stale.
And I know we're still relatively early here in the season. Any early indications of who we have to look out for in the region? Region 24, usually a tough one to get through there.
Yeah.
Is it going to be the usual suspects, or who should we circle on the calendar this season?
I should hope that we'll continue to be in the conversation. And I got to remind them, especially the new guys, they don't know anything. But the returning guys, we're not going to try to win a regional championship in the first couple of weeks. Mm-hmm. But that's what we want to build into. As far as results, I mean, we've done pretty well, and we'll have a couple more this weekend to kind of see again where we are. But by the middle of September, late September, early October, we'll figure out a little bit more, and we'll see. I mean, my biggest thing is, are we improving every day, every game, to be in a position to maybe host more games and travel? As the region's huge, and the less we got to spend on the bus, the better off. So. Other than that, we'll just keep trying to build, and we'll just have to deal with injuries as they come, and hopefully a bunch of 19, 20-year-olds can continue to do okay every day.
And, training usually starts beginning of August or so. So what are the things that you thought that they did really well? And what are maybe some areas you're still looking to improve here as you get a little bit deeper into the schedule?
Yeah, I would say most of the worries that we would have going into preseason would be injuries based off guys not being fit. We haven't had those. I mean, we've had injuries, but they've come from just kind of freakish things. And I think as a collective, they pushed themselves really hard in the first couple of weeks. I think it's shown early on in our matches where we're which is a great thing that I always want to do, win games in the last 20 minutes going away, and we're fresh and we're deep and everybody's expected. I've looked at the years when we've been really successful, that's been the combination. Most teams starting 11s are pretty even. It's when you get deep into matches, and so those first couple of weeks paid dividends for a lot of these guys, and I think now they're seeing what we were harping on them from the beginning.
Sure.
Get fit, stay fit, and you're going to be more successful.
And are there a couple of guys that you can point out that you're really looking for to maybe lead the Cobra attack and try to put the ball in the net this season?
Well, it starts with Sasaki, who has really picked up where he left off, and he's
great freshman year.
Yeah, and he came in probably more motivated than anybody else, and you could see it. His times were great. He scored 3 goals and had 3 assists already in the first 2 matches, and he's really leading by example, and he's a great thing for other guys to see. So hopefully, knock on wood, he continues that. And I think there's other guys who are now stepping in and saying, all right, we know he's going to lead us in that direction, so we have to feed him, but also now there's room for the rest of us to continue to really join up with him. So other than that, I mean, like our last game, we had 5 different guys score goals, and that's a great indication that we're not going to be one-dimensional, because the word's going to get out with him.
Right.
Other teams will focus on him. Do we have other guys that can step in?
Yeah, it definitely makes the team much more difficult to prepare for. And kind of on the flip side, defensively, who are you looking to lead the charge there on the back line?
It's a whole relatively new back line for us this year, and so Naoto and Sungbong have this. They know each other very, very well, and it shows the way they play. They're not big yellers and screamers like we oftentimes have in our back line. There's a very calming presence to them, but they're very effective. So it all kind of starts and ends with them. We've got Jacob shown on our right side, and he's filling in great. And so far, results are that we don't give up a lot of goals yet. So hopefully they can do the same.
And speaking to the Cobra fans out there, is there a particular identity you see this team forming, or what can they expect when they come out to the field to watch this team compete?
That's it, a competitive group. And I know it's hard to do that every single day, especially we're going to play 20 matches in 2 months, and it's a hard thing to ask these guys to keep going. But so far, they compete, they grind. There's a couple guys out there who just, I think, enjoy it, and they will find the wall and they keep busting through it. So if nothing else, you're going to see guys just kind of put it out there every day.
Well, Coach, thanks a lot for joining us. We look forward to catching up with you later in the year, and hopefully we can pile some wins out there.
My pleasure. Thank you.
And we're pleased to be joined by Francisco Andrade from the men's soccer program here at Parkland College. So, Francisco, what are some of the goals that you guys are setting forth for the 2019 Parkland College soccer team?
Hello. So, this year, our main goal is to get to nationals. It was a goal that we didn't get last year. We didn't reach. So that's our main goal. And honestly, I think our team it looks good and has really high chances to get to that point. All of us want to get, So.
And what are some things that you feel like the team has done very well so far here in the preseason training and then also in the first couple games of the season?
Yeah, so this is a team with a lot of international people, so the language is a barrier, between us. So I think considering all of those obstacles, I think we've been playing really good together since day one. Since August 1st, our first preseason practice, in our preseason games too. So I think the team they start working well together really fast, So I think that's a good thing between us.
And that's a great point there. So how difficult is that to come in, a lot of players from different backgrounds, grew up playing maybe a different style and things like that, to all come together and get on the same page?
Well, all of us, we just do what you like to do, which is play soccer. So I think besides that, it doesn't matter inside the field. We try to find ways to teach and help those those players who don't know how to speak English very well, and we try to be like a family and like help each other out and be successful in games and all season.
And what would you say is the biggest difference so far in playing collegiate soccer than maybe you play throughout, as a youth and high school league and things like that?
Well, I think like soccer in college is like way faster. Like there's no time to think about what we're gonna do next. High school soccer is more slow. So I think right now all of us like we got to a point like there's like no turning back. So all of us we have like high expectations about our future. So I think like it's like really different.
And what do you think that this team is going to have to do to ultimately win that Region 24 title and possibly advance to the national tournament?
Well, honestly, like looking at our team, I think like we just need to play like how we play, which is like a good soccer. Like we try to play good together, and like if we do like if we play like easy and like score goals, we're gonna get to the goal that we all want to get.
Well, thank you for taking some time with us, Francisco. We look forward to seeing you this season, and best of luck to the Cobras.
Right, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a nice day.
And now we'll be joined by Tyler Arias here for the men's soccer program. Tyler, thank you for taking some time to join us here today. So if you could pinpoint a couple of things, what are some of the goals that you're setting forth for the Cobras this upcoming season?
Well, we all trying our best to create a good team that will fit to compete in the playoffs. We're working really hard and playing as a team so that we can accomplish that.
And what are some things the team has been doing really well so far in the preseason training and throughout the first couple of games of the season?
I would say teamwork and hard work. We've been picking our guys up. If we make mistakes, we will just let it go and then tell them that next time we'll get it. And then that's how we've been doing in the games too, and then we're getting results by that.
And a lot of international flair on the team here. So how unique is that and how difficult is that for everybody coming from different backgrounds to really all get on the same page and really go out there and play some good soccer?
I think it's actually really nice to have players from different countries and cultures because you get to know more cultures and meet new people, and they bring the best of the best Coach Ken, and they're good players and nice people, and at first it might be hard because of the language and stuff, but as soon as you get in the soccer field and we get along and we do great things.
And what's the biggest difference so far competing at the college level than maybe coming up through the youth ranks and things like that as you were training to get to this level?
Definitely. In high school, it's way different the college level because it gets way faster and you see where like people that are bigger than you and you can't be intimidated by that. But it's actually like it's nice because you get more experience and you get to be a better soccer player.
Have you noticed any strengths of this team, something you feel like is really going to lean on to help you win a lot of games this year?
We're not big as other teams, but I think we're pretty fast and we move the ball pretty quickly. So I think this is one of our biggest strengths right now.
And what's it going to take for this team to reach that ultimate goal and win the regional title and hopefully get that berth at nationals?
I think it's just keep working hard and then be solid as a team and not giving up and picking guys up and just know that we'll do a good job with everybody on our side making it happen.
Well, thanks for taking a few minutes with us and good luck this season.
Thank you.